How are you? It's Laura Lynn, and today's members only live call is going to be about what is deductible in your teddy bear business. I'm going to check on my iPad now and see if you can make sure that we're live. And I want to try to check and see if you can ask questions. If you have any questions about what I talk about during this live call. This is the first time we've done it with Facebook. And it looks like you can comment underneath. How are you? It's whoops, sorry. You can ask questions. If you have any questions about what I talk about during this live call. This is the first time we've done it with. Okay, I think we've got everything set. I am going to talk about a few things, and I'll pause and check to see if you've typed any questions or comments. But a little while ago, I was asked, if you have a bear making business, what is deductible? What can you deduct in your bear making business? Now, the first things I want to mention are, number one, I'm not a tax professional. I am also not a lawyer. So what I am sharing with you is how I handle my taxes in my business. If you have any very detailed questions, I would recommend that you contact a CPA or another type of tax professional. The other thing I should mention is I am based in the United States. Taxes may be handled differently in your country if you're not inside the United States. But in general, I think most of these guidelines would probably be the same from country to country. Just check with your tax professional if you have questions. Now, when I file my taxes at the end of the year, I file a Schedule C. I'm a sole proprietor, so I file a Schedule C for my business with this form. This form shows the profit or loss from the business, and that is along with my 1040 with my taxes. Now, one thing I would like to mention, that on the IRS website, the IRS considers you a business if you make a profit for at least 3 out of 5 years. If you don't, the IRS might classify you as a hobby, not a business, and not allow you to take the expenses as deductions. However, you'll still have to declare any income that you make, even though you can't declare the expenses. Now, there are exceptions to this, 3 out of 5 years. And if you have questions about that, contact your tax professional. And now on to the expenses. The first thing is a deductible for your bear making business are obviously the materials that you use to make your teddy bears. So all the mohair, the ultra suede, thread, stuffing, the joints, the teddy bear eyes, all those things are tax deductible. Now these go in part of your inventory, and with you do have to count your inventory at the end of the year, and that goes on your taxes. The other thing, when you're selling bears, of course, if you are selling them online, you're paying to ship them. Those shipping costs are tax deductible. That is a legitimate business expense. Packing materials. Are you paying for boxes, tissue, packing paper, peanuts, thank you cards, tape? All of those things, those are tax deductible. I happen to put those under office expenses myself. And speaking of office expenses, we have office supplies, paper that you use to print, printer ink, notebooks, pens, paper clips. Office supplies for your home office are tax deductible. The internet. You can't run your business without the internet. So your internet is tax deductible. The way I handled it is, I know many people have the internet and cable their TV, and maybe their home all bundled together. I handled it by my business pays for the internet, and it gets a separate bill. The rest of it, my boyfriend pays the rest of that, so that they are separate from each other, so that it's obvious that the internet is a business expense because it's not mixed in with the household expenses. Now, website hosting. Do you pay for a website? That hosting expense is tax deductible. You could take that off as you're adding all your income together. You subtract all the expenses. You don't have to pay income tax on your gross income. For instance, all the money that you made making bears. You don't pay income tax on the total of the money that you made making bears. First, you add up how much money you made making the teddy bears, and then you subtract the expenses. This is a very simplified explanation. You subtract the expenses from the income, and then you only have to pay income tax on that balance. So that's why you want to make sure that you can claim all of your legitimate expenses. Believe it or not, your membership fees to Teddy Bear Academy, that is tax deductible. You're paying a membership to learn about your business. I'm going to take a quick break here. I'm going to check into the group and see if we have any questions. I have some more expenses that I'm going to list. Okay. Now, if you're selling your teddy bears online, you likely accept payments with PayPal. And as you know, PayPal takes a fee. It's usually 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. Those PayPal fees are an expense that is tax deductible. Do you sell on Etsy? Those fees are tax deductible. eBay? All of those fees are tax deductible. Now, have you ever posted a picture of your bear on Facebook and then you thought about boosting your post? Maybe you boost your post for $5 or $10. Those costs are tax deductible. That's an advertising fee, advertising expense. Business cards. Do you pass business cards out to people? Hang tags. Do you have hang tags for your bears? You're sewing in labels. There's a class inside for sewing in labels, showing you how I insert labels into my bears. Those are tax deductible. Equipment like sewing machines, computers, laptops, iPads, these are tax deductible. Now the equipment, big equipment like the laptops, the electronics, the sewing machines, the high dollar things, those generally need to be depreciated, which means you can't deduct the full purchase price in one full year off of that 1 year's taxes, but it's usually depreciated over 5 years. And your tax professional can help you with that. But they are still tax deductible. Small tools like scissors, needles, pins, alligator clips, all those things, when you start buying those things, baskets to hold all of your tools, tax deductible. Keep all of your receipts. Let's see. Do you happen to sell at teddy bear shows? If you sell on online shows, those show fees are tax deductible. Do you happen to go to physical shows? In fact, this particular weekend, as we are recording this, the first weekend in May, is the big Philadelphia Quinlan doll and teddy bear show. If you were selling at that show, the table fee, which I think is $200, that is tax deductible. Your travel costs, did you fly? The airline ticket is tax deductible. Your hotel, that is tax deductible. So a lot of people like to combine shows with a little mini vacation. That way they make a lot of the travel and some of the hotel tax deductible. for instance, I'm in the US and say I decided I wanted to do a show in England because I always wanted to go to England. My airfare would be tax deductible, and my hotel fee for the days of the show leading up to the show would be tax deductible. The hotel fees for after the show, while I'm on my vacation, those are not tax deductible. But the airfare to get back home is tax deductible. I hope that makes sense. And that is, by all means, not an exhaustive list of legitimate business expenses, but I hope that gives you an idea of what is tax deductible with your teddy bear business. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to check the group real quick again, see if there's any comments. I don't see anything. Well, thank you so much. We'll be having more of these short member calls with a specific topic so that you can ask questions. And I'm going to have a copy of the video also inside the Teddy Bear Academy. And it'll still be here in the group too, but it'll be easier to find inside Teddy Bear Academy. If you have any questions after you've watched this video, feel free to comment below or inside Teddy Bear Academy, and I'll be happy to try to answer them. Happy bear making!